place these videos on YouTube for providence. So if my grandchildren are away, alive in the future, if things don't go totally off the rails and the insane people who've got a grudge against humanity don't get their own way and cause great havoc and great chaos unnecessarily because their lack of ability to lead humanity peacefully, they've got to lead it violently. It's a very sad thing. But I don't altogether disagree with everything. You can't totally disagree with some of the views they have on people who only live off welfare. Now, I live on a pension because I'm past the retirement age. I still work hard. I still work in my garden. I still keep busy. But nonetheless, I think very strongly that almost no one should receive an income till you get to a certain age. I know that's anathema to some people who want everyone to die by the time they're 70 or something like that, or you've got some idea about that, but I think you should be able to live as long as you like, as long as you're fit and able to do so, and can sort of look after yourself. Not a burden on the state. That's the point. A lot of the world now become a burden upon the state, which is the corporations. The corporations are the state. There's no separation between the corporations and the state. This is just a fact. No one could deny it. And it's a fact many people don't realise. But millions of people in the world now are totally reliant upon the state. But the state has created this. It's created this by saying, vote for us and you could get more state benefits. It's done this. It's created this. It's just Rome all over again. In ancient Rome, they had 200,000 people on the dole in Rome or on state welfare in Rome, and that's why they're bred in a thing called bread and circus. Go around and give them some wheat and some bread and throw on a massacre at the Colosseum occasion to keep them entertained and get off their frustrations out as the lions tore the Christians apart. It's just sort of repeating, and it's like, don't they ever learn, these humans? I don't know. But I don't agree. I think it's very bad spiritually. It's very bad for the soul. And it defeats one's own purpose if one does not put in to one's own life. If one does not put into one's own life, but expect everything out of the state, well, if that's what you do, you've been habituated to expect everything out of the state, well then, one is just a drain upon the state, whether one likes to admit it or not. It's no good making excuses as I'm a victim of the past, because the past was yesterday. Every time you wake up every morning, it's a new day, and you can turn over a new leaf and start a new life. There's all sorts of restrictions now by the state is restricting people actually having free thoughts on how to maybe work and grow food for themselves, for instance. Where is the action in the States where to see people can go and grow their own food, or even in Australia where people can work in gardens and grow their own food? There's so much over-regulation in that respect, and people are so actually bone idle and lazy, just want to sit at a little screen all day, and that's their life. So, how much do they deserve in life? And it's in all religions and all nature itself, throughout nature, living things get out of life what they put into it. Life as a purpose is a purpose. We're involved with that purpose of living. Then that's creating our own life and our own life's purpose by what we put in, wherever that is. And what we put in should be positive and practical, and should be adaptive to the surroundings. And it shouldn't despoil nature. It shouldn't be taking out so much of the planet to feed our gross appetites that we are draining the planet, and then say, oh, we want to save the planet, but what we're doing is consuming so much in ourselves. we're part of the problem. And there's billions of people in the world now who say, we want to save the planet, but they're so over-dependent on the state and putting so little in themselves. They're part of the cause of the very problem with the planet they say they are trying to stop. And it's this self-realization that people ought to somehow at some stage come and get that will then help them become more spiritually aware in the future and develop their own future, what's less dependent on the state. Because if you're only dependent on the state, then you are a slave to the state. And they can dispose of you in the future when they wish that you're no longer useful to the state or the corporation, because that's just about what's happening. Sad to say. It's a very sad state of affairs when so many people are so reliant on the state and think that's what they deserve. And in life, there's one rule an old Scottish mentor of mine said: out of it, you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve out of life. So if you put in positive, practical, and you're creative and for society, for the social needs of society, you'll get back a lot of return. It's heartwarming in a very true sense. It's capital in a true sense, so it's spiritually rewarding. And that's true capitalism, is what spiritually rewards the individual for what they put in. Then they really get what they deserve, happiness and contentedness, and find it's beyond the limits of material gratification.